Is it time to upgrade your iPad? Well, I'm actually facing that same question right now. And that's why I made this video. So I'm going to walk through some of the factors that I looked at and some of the factors that you can look at that's going to help you make that decision. So let's get going. I've had this for a couple years now. I'm noticing it slowing down a little bit. So one of the first things that I looked at, you can get into processors, and is it a 5th generation? Is it an 8th generation? You can get into all that, but actually the easiest way to determine whether or not this iPad right here is still meeting the current requirements, still ready to do anything you need it to do. One of the easiest ways is to check the iOS or iPad version of it. And what that simply is going in and checking the version of the operating system. Now, what you're going to notice is if it's starting to get old, you're going to see that it's not on the latest operating system. So right now, for example, iPad OS, as of the date of filming, is on version 17 or greater. And mine right here is not on iOS 17. I'm going to show you where it's at. And you're going to see that it's not on iOS 17. So what that means is that I'm missing out on new features. All the new features that Apple came out with on iOS 17, some of the FaceTime stuff, some of the emoji stuff, some of the messaging stuff, and there's a lot more. None of that I can't use any of that on this iPad because this iPad does not have the internals necessary to run the new iOS. And so Apple will keep updating it for security purposes. They'll give you updates on that, but you're not going to get any new features on the iPad. Now, if that doesn't mean anything to you, that's fine. These things that I'm going to go over, it becomes a judgment call whether they mean anything to you or not. I like to have the latest features. That's what makes the iPad interesting, and you can do all sorts of new things with it. So when you start to lose that, it kind of starts losing its effectiveness, and that may be time for an upgrade. So the big number you want to pay attention to is the first number, the 16 or 17 to 18. That means a major update. The .2, .3, .5, those are just minor updates to the main system. So 16 to 17, that's a big jump. 17.1 to 17.2 or 17.3, yeah, you're going to pick up some new features, but they're going to be small. A lot of them are incremental changes. The second thing you might want to look at, if you're looking at whether you need a new iPad or not, and again, you can see this one right here looks really nice. There's no flaws on it. It's really in perfect shape. But you might want to look at the storage. How much storage do you have available on the iPad? Now this one only has 32 gigabyte of storage, and I'm kind of getting close to running out. So if I keep this in a few years, I'm either going to have to unload some stuff on it, put some more stuff on iCloud, but I am going to run out of storage pretty soon, especially if I keep photos on this and all kinds of other stuff. So that's another thing you might want to consider. Some of the newer models are going to have higher storage on them. Most of them are going to start at 64 or greater, or you can even get them to 128 or greater. So if that's a big deal to you, if you store a lot of stuff on your iPad and it is running out, that's another thing to consider with the iOS version on whether you might want to trade it in for an upgrade. Now, the third thing you might want to think about is the battery. Now, batteries get old. They age. Apple says a typical battery should have 500 cycles and keep 80% of its original capacity. So what happens is, over time, a battery loses the ability to keep the maximum charge. So if you would look at, for example, a glass of water, okay, if I fill the glass up with water, you can see that it's full. That's how a battery is when it's new, okay? It's able to go right up to the top, and so you got the maximum amount of water or battery capacity to use. However, as the battery has more cycles, and a cycle means a discharge cycle from 100% to 0, okay? That's one cycle. Every time you charge it, it's using the cycles in some way, but it's usually from 100% to 0, that's one cycle. So as it loses the capacity to hold more water or to hold the original capacity when it was manufactured, you're not going to get as much use out of it, and you're going to find yourself charging your battery more. So in another video, I'm going to show you how to find the health of your iPad battery, since Apple does not show that to you under the General tab here. And it's a little more technical. I don't want to bog down this video, but you will be able to find the health of your battery, and then you can make a good decision on whether you want to stick with the current iPad or move to a new one. So make sure you stay notified to this channel. That video will be coming shortly. The other thing you might want to consider is these iPads do have trade-in value. The earlier you trade it in, the more value you have. Now, you're not going to get what you paid for it. This one here, 5th generation, I can get anywhere from $50 to $100 for it, depending on the condition. Another important point to keep in mind, if you're thinking of upgrading, is Apple has an upgrade cycle on their iPads. And they do this every so often, and you want to time it right so you're not buying an older iPad and then they roll out some brand new ones just a couple months later. You may overpay and not get the best value. So what you need to know is in 2023, for the first time in a long time, Apple did not roll out any new software, any new iPads. And normally every year they're rolling out some type of new iPad, but in 2023 they did not update the line. So the line is kind of old right now, and it's been over 400 days since the last update on the latest iPad model. So what that means is that Apple will be coming out with an update in 2024. The rumors are it's probably going to be in the spring, maybe by summer. They're going to come out with a new iPad lineup. So if you're looking to buy one right now, I would probably recommend that you hold on to see what Apple comes out with, because a lot of times they will redesign them and you'll get better value for the money. And also then the older models will go on sale, maybe $100 cheaper, so you can get a good older model, maybe only a year old, for a really good price. And so you want to try to work it around this update cycle where they're going to have new processors, maybe improved screens and all that good stuff. And the last thing I want to tell you about, if you're in the market for an iPad, if you've looked at the iOS, you've looked at the storage, you've looked at the battery, and you're like, yeah, it's time to get a new one. Do not pay full price for an iPad. These things go on sale all the time. All the time. I watch this religiously. I watch these prices. Constantly, you can get $70 off, $50 off, sometimes $100 off when it's near Christmas. So do not pay full prices for these iPads. Look around, go to some of the major sites, and keep your eye on them. All the major retailers are going to run sales. And if you give it like 30, 60 days, you're going to see a sale on one of the iPads you want. Don't ever pay full price. The other thing I want to tell you is that Apple, if you didn't know it or not, they have a refurbished store on their website. And this refurbished store is really, really good. I've bought a lot of products from Apple that are refurbished. And the reason I don't do this with a lot of other manufacturers, because it's very important on how they refurbish products. Apple on these iPads actually puts a new outer shell on them, and they also put a brand new battery in them. So when you're getting a refurbished product from Apple, it looks brand new. It not only looks brand new, they give you a full 1-year warranty on it, just like an original one. And you can even buy Apple Care protection on it if you want to. I've never had a problem with any of their refurbished. Like I said, they look brand new out of the box. And as you can see from the screen here, there's significant discounts, $70, $80 off of the refurbished products that are just as good as the new ones. So again, back to my saying, never pay full price. Either wait for a good sale to happen or go on Apple's refurbished store and look for a good one that's discounted on that store. You will not regret buying a refurbished product from Apple. So in closing, if you have an iPad and you're wondering, should I upgrade, should I not? Go through these items, look at the iOS, look at the storage, check the battery, and look at the Apple update cycle, and then you can make a really good informed decision on whether you want to upgrade. Maybe you don't. Maybe all that stuff is a little bit older, but the way you use your iPad, it doesn't matter. But if you are in the market, if you've been thinking about it, or if you've been thinking, this seems slow, some of the apps aren't working like they should, watch the upgrade cycle, watch the sales, and you'll be able to get a nice new upgraded iPad for a great deal, and then you'll enjoy it for quite some time. So that's all for this video. If you like this video, please hit the like button, and please always also hit the subscribe button, get notifications when new videos come out. I appreciate you being with me today, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Take care.